Hey bestie, and welcome to another episode of Tier
Japann.
List. Oh my god. You scared me so bad.
Well, you always tell me I'm doing it too late, so I was just like, I'm just gonna do it in the middle of the intro next time.
Yeah, I'm joined with
But,
Japann.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hi, honey.
It is me.
Anyway, we are doing a tier list on the Office recurring characters. We didn't want too big of a group, so we kind of went with some of the core ones mostly. We are only able to put 6 characters per tier, and one tier is allowed to have 7. But I vote that it not be S tier because I feel like I feel like it would be more fair. So, God, I'm already looking at this and unsure who I'm putting in S tier, but
yeah, I don't know either.
Let's just jump in. This is alphabetical order, so we're just gonna jump in, starting with Andy.
Do right into seek.
Andy's actually okay. I'm gonna put him in C tier, but I feel like he could be D tier for me. Andy is. I don't know.
Andy grew. Like, he was a character that wasn't very likable, and then he turned into a character that was a cuck. And they turned into a character that was like starting to be better, and then
they fucked him.
He went right into a kiss ass, right into just being the most incompetent person that they've ever had
I feel
running
like
the
they
office,
did him
which is pretty
kind
bad
of
because Michael was there.
On the ending of the show, I feel like everybody got their happily ever after, but not Andy.
But he didn't deserve one. He screwed it. Like, he had
true.
the happy ever ending. Like, Aaron did a lot for him, and
then he
screwed
kind
that
of
up. He deserved what he got.
For sure.
You know what? D tier.
Actually, you're right.
You talked me into D tier.
Okay, I'm actually gonna go back to D tier with him as well, because that's where he started for me. But then I was like, well,
because he was funny in the beginning. Because like like the best part is when Jim does the prank and he annihilates the wall because it's like he's not used to that, you know, or he yells at him at the other branch too. Like,
I think listening, so I really love The Office, and I listen to like the Office Ladies podcast. I've rewatched the show like multiple times, and his Reddit did to do thing, that's something he brought to the table for the character. And I think he said that one of his friends in college, it's something that they used to say, so he was like, that seems like something he should say. So I thought it was kind of funny. An interesting little tidbit for you guys.
Definitely.
Okay, so next up we have Angela, who is just honestly a funny fucking character. She's a menace, but in a funny way, and in a way that, like, at first I feel like she's more unbearable, but as the show goes on, you see her flaws and see who she is, and you really can't help but sort of feel for her. What tier would you put her in?
I put her in C. I never really cared for her character. I mean, I think her ending up with Dwight was perfect, but other than that, like, it was a lot of unbearable seasons of her just being Angela.
Yeah,
and
that's valid.
yeah, I feel like the whole storyline with her and Andy and Dwight was pretty messed up.
Valid.
And then, like, it kind of turned into her being okay because she kind of got her own with the the senator, but because she's also homophobic. I put her in B tier. Yeah.
I feel like she kind of belongs there. Okay, next up we have Charles. He was one of the people that took over as boss once Michael was no longer boss. He was a hard ass, and I kind of respect that about him, but he's I'm gonna go C tier. He's not.
He put C tier also.
He was somewhat competent, at least.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of them. So
a lot of people that were bosses.
Yeah. That is something I think the show got kind of accurate, is the amount of incompetent people in positions of power.
Exactly.
That can be a political statement, but also just like an everyday statement.
I just like, blue collar statement that's even more
that's what I'm saying.
accurate.
Like, I feel like it can be a political statement, but it's also just like for general work-life balance, it's a pretty correct statement too. Yeah, accurate.
Blue collar, white collar, it doesn't matter what color you have a boss or two that doesn't know what they're doing.
Any jobs that I've ever had,
not my bosses though, just in case.
Yeah. Any jobs that I have ever had where I've had to have like a manager or anything have all been just garbage. Like, literally thinking of all my jobs right now and all my different bosses, and they were just all terrible people. I don't know what it is. But yeah. All right, next up we have young Dwight. I don't remember his name, but that's what we call him, and that's what his name is.
Look up other characters' name, but you're like, young Dwight's fine.
Yeah, he's young Dwight. Sorry.
Guy from Hot Tub Time Machine. Is that better?
He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go C tier. I don't think.
I put C also. I don't think he was a bad character, but I don't think he was really needed.
Yeah, he's just kind of there.
Yeah, compared to the 2 interns that came in, I think like his character was way worse.
Yeah, agreed. So, just kind of there. Okay, next we have Creed, who in my opinion is goddamn funny and is A tier for me.
Yeah,
his
me too.
Character
he has some of the best one-liners.
So out of. If you want to think of anyone that's out of pocket, Creed, 100 million %.
See, I was just thinking of the episode the other day, the Christmas episode, because we at work have one of those boxes where you put the toys in it, and I remember the episode where they did that, and they put the toys, and then he just grabs one and takes it.
Oh my god!
Take a toy.
It does also seem like there was an episode where he like took money when it was supposed to be donated to something too, right?
Yeah, I mean he's definitely.
Creed. I mean, and he grows bean sprouts in the office. He doesn't actually have a job there, like. His character is so out of pocket. Actually, listening to the podcast too. I'm sorry, I am clearly a gross amount of fan. He actually they weren't sure if they were gonna keep his character. It was between him and another guy, and Creed ended up being the one that got to stay on the show. And it's actually really just interesting that he got to, and I'm so glad we got to keep Creed.
Yeah, he had some of the most interesting one-liners and just weird
He's
shit.
funny.
I
like,
think yeah.
It was a great character. Okay, next up we have Daryl. I actually really like Daryl, like a whole lot. Also. I think the thing about Daryl is he's just your average guy just trying to like fucking make it in life, and I like that he kind of took on a bigger role in the show the further it went along. Shit, I'm kind of pressed to put him in S tier.
I put him in S tier. I think I think he's overall like, and he's just trying to do stuff for his kid and stuff too.
Like he's definitely a shithead. But who isn't?
I think overall though, like he's pretty just a solid character.
Yeah.
Like he's pretty competent too compared to a lot of the people.
Right. I like how him and Jim got to go do the sports
Yeah, I'm glad they
together.
got to escape, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's another interesting thing about the show. Whenever they do talking heads against like the wall going into the office, that means they don't really have a chance to escape. But when they do talking heads against the outer window, that means they do have a chance to escape. And you see with their character development who gets those chances later. It's interesting. Oh my god, listen to the Office Ladies podcast. I'm a dork, sorry. Okay, next up we have David Wallace. I actually don't think he was that bad of a character. I thought he was a solid guy. I pretty much liked him, but because I'm gonna go B tier, I would say.
I'll go C.
Okay, that's valid. Why are you putting him in C?
Pretty much the same reason. Like he was a solid character, but I feel like he wasn't in it a ton to really give him like that, like more like iconic characters that are going to be coming up. But I don't think he was the worst. Like I don't think he was a bad character.
No, I get that. Yeah. Totally. Okay. Next up we have D'Angelo, who we got for like
so much.
Yes, he's D tier for me too. He is.
Will Ferrell's characters are hit or miss, and Andy Fade. Like he's either one of the funniest guys here, like Anchorman. Like I don't really like Anchorman that much, but his character's the best in it. Mm-hmm. Or he is the worst character imaginable. Like,
but because he's a good his acting is good in those roles.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Will Ferrell's like forte of being able to do that, to make characters like very
unbearable.
Unbearable.
I think
like
that
his
is
character
his forte.
was meant to be unbearable.
Yeah, for sure.
He did too good on it that I didn't like
Couldn't
his character,
stand him.
and I felt like they also kind of just wrote him out at the last second too. Like I thought that was a really weird.
It was
a
weird way to write him out. Agreed. That was definitely weird.
And he was just an asshole as a boss too, like having his list of people that he liked and didn't like. You know,
no, that's
like,
not okay. That's fucked
I didn't
up.
like that.
Yeah, that's gross. Okay, next up we have Dwight. I am torn. His character is funny as fuck. Oh my god. I'm gonna put him in A tier for right now. But he is such a menace, but that's what makes his character so good. And I do like that he has some growth as a person as the series goes on, and I don't know, it's just interesting, but I love how fucking funny his character is.
Yeah, he's definitely S tier for me. I feel like his growth is the best out of the
I want to
entire
go S
story.
tier with him.
Because he's like definitely unbearable in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then like he becomes like also the butt of the joke, so you kind of laugh at him. But then he gets to it. I think the episode that really is the one is where Jim and Pam go to his house for the bed and breakfast, and they catch him crying.
Yeah.
That one was that, and the one where Pam is crying because forgot why she's crying.
I think it was
but
something
he goes
with
and comforts.
Jim,
he goes and comforts her in the stairs, and then I know the other big one is when she's the office secretary or like administrator, and she's faking that she has a building, and then like Dwight's the renter or whatever, and he like gives her the information to like beat his own code.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know. There's just those moments that like very human, and he also reminds me of Border, so I can't.
Yeah, I
put
actually
him at S
pushed
tier.
him up to S tier because also I think something that gets my heart is I think he says at one point that Pam's his best friend, and it just like. I don't know. His character is heartwarming in the most wild and obnoxious ways, and
I think they did a good job of his
heart.
writing, because you really don't like him in the beginning, like he's funny and stuff, but like you obviously I didn't really care much for him, but he developed so well that you liked him by the end a lot. And even when he like fires Jim at the very end and Pam so they get severance, like that was also just kind of a solid move, and just sweet. Because, like, he didn't have to do that, like, they were going to be okay, but, like, to give them some pay, even just at the end, it was pretty sweet. And I feel like he had from start to finish, the best story.
Yeah, actually, I have to agree with that. All right, S tier.
Yeah, of everybody. Like, he's not my favorite character, but I think he had the best start to finish story.
I totally,
like, there's characters that, like, not spoiling too much, but, like, later on that have, like, really good characters, and then they get screwed in the beginning, or at the end. Like really badly, where you like almost don't like the character because they screwed so much little stuff in between the last couple seasons. But I think Dwight consistently stayed a character that you like.
He stayed Dwight.
Yeah. Okay. Even towards the very end, like he was still him. And all that.
S tier for me too. I was going to, and then I was scared, but you're right. Okay, next up we have Erin. She's kind of just, I don't know. She's just kind of there, like. I like her character. I'm gonna go B tier. I don't know. I feel like maybe I should have a stronger thought here than I do, but what do you think?
I think she's A tier. She has, especially in the later seasons, some of the best lines, because she's kind of like ditzy, but like also is like independent on her own stuff.
She's kind of like Kimmy Schmidt a few years after she escaped.
I just feel like the only thing that really like her character kind of wasn't great, because like she was just kind of like Pam's replacement over there, and like her with like Andy and then Gabe, like both of those I think were really bad, but like I think she had a lot of good ones. And then I really wanted her like at the very end when she thought she might be Phyllis's like child.
That crushed me.
That really did crush me. But then Phyllis was like really sweet about it, and like, but I don't know, that I thought that would have been a really good thing, which I know it's just too perfect, but
yeah, they wanted it so bad. Yeah, something about that. I actually kind of forgot about those later things.
And
I still think I'm gonna keep her on B though.
She went and got Andy.
Yeah,
like, she did everything she could to save that relationship, and like, yeah, I don't know. I think she built up a character. Like again, like she was kind of a throwaway character in the beginning, and I think she kind of worked her way into it with different storylines, and she got a decent ending too. I think altogether.
No, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I kind of was at kind of like, I don't know, I wasn't, but I did forget about some of that stuff, and you're right, you remember stuff so much better than me. Okay, next up is Gabe. I'm sorry, but D tier.
Yeah, I didn't like Gabe at all.
He is such a fucking menace. I don't like him. He is weird and possessive and clingy, and
yeah, I think that's where it really drew the line.
I get his insecurities, but like at the same time, like Erin didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. And I just feel like, yeah,
I feel like he was okay until he got to that spot.
And then
like
he
was
got
super
gross.
Annoying and weird, but like I thought it was like still funny.
Kind of funny,
because,
yeah.
Like, And like, but once he like tried to get them fired, and I don't know, there was just so much, and then he would just cry back there. It was just like, I didn't like that at all. It was just like,
over.
dude,
Yeah,
you know, she didn't want to be with you, and you know, she did break up with you instead of like, you know, cheating on you or anything. So like,
yeah,
like she did what she was supposed to, and like, you know, I felt like that was kind of shitty, but yeah, it's still D tier.
Okay, so next up we have Holly, who is S tier for me for so many reasons, but especially because like she is like the missing puzzle piece to Michael. Is Michael on this? Oh, I see him. Sorry, I just all of a sudden was like, I don't even see Michael. Okay, sorry.
It's been one hell of a list. Like, yeah, no Michael.
Like one of the main characters. She's just S tier for me. I love her so much. I feel like she gives Michael the grounding that he needs in life, and the love, and like they have kids together, and honestly that is like my whole heart. I love her, and weird little tidbit is her full name is Hollis. So
interesting.
What about for you?
I don't know. I'm a little conflicted because I definitely think she is like perfect for Michael. Like I agree with all of that. I did like the episode where she kind of like finally realizes that she's in love with Michael, where like they're trying to find Michael because he's lost. I really like that episode.
That one's so
and like it really
cute.
showed a lot. The only thing I think I don't like is that we never get to see them because obviously they wrote Steve Carell out of the show. So like I feel like we all kind of just that kind of part sucked. I think we kind of got robbed of that, and I wish I would have saw more of that because we barely get to see them actually together.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like,
and that's why I put her in A tier.
She might get bumped for that reason for me too if I don't have anybody else I want to put in S tier, but
yeah, that's kind of how I feel like. I feel like we kind of got robbed of that, and I feel like that would also made Michael a better character.
Well,
because like I think he changed a lot, and I felt like when we see him at Dwight's wedding at the very end, I feel like the jump is really dramatic. That like I wish we would have saw a little bit more of that, which I know they couldn't physically do, but like you know, I think that's the only fault I would have for her being a good character. It's just like I feel like I wish we would have saw more of that because we didn't get to see her a ton.
I wanted to see that so much. I do agree that we were definitely robbed because I think it would have been cute to see him. Like I think they could have added in some cute stuff with having him have his Michael issues and like her be there, and I think seeing them have kids would have been cute. I do think one of my favorite things that's really cute is right before Michael leaves, he gets kind of freaked out about leaving, and he's like, I can't go, I can't do it, and then he calls her, and he all of a sudden calms down when he hears her voice, and he's like, I just needed to hear your voice. And that was, oh my god, like that's why they're so perfect. It's just they fit, and I'm tearing up even thinking about that. Oh my god, I'm so fucking lame. Okay, next we have,
you're supposed to have.
Yeah, this show is next we have Jan. She's fucking D tier for me, dude. Like nothing about this woman is redeemable. I don't know, she brings a lot of funny storylines, but what are your thoughts?
I feel like she's C tier to me. I don't think she's like obviously the best, but I feel like a lot of the storylines, especially with her and Michael kind of hooking up, was really funny, and like, you know, it kind of had like the relationship that like I think Michael needed at the time too, and I think it was okay, and I feel like, you know, overall she was a pretty decent like side character.
You gotta remember though,
she did go a little crazy at the end, but
once they're together in the apartment, and she's definitely abusive towards Michael.
Yeah, but I mean,
she makes him get a vasectomy, get rid of the vasectomy, get the vasectomy, snip, snap, and then she
that
also
whole thing is
like
just really weird
uses
and funny
all of his money, and then he had to get the second job at the call center, and like, I don't know, like I just don't think she's that great of a person. And even then, like later she comes back with the baby, and like I just I don't know, I just can't. Now there are some amazing storylines with Jan, and
I think that's mainly why I put her in C, because I think like even what you were just saying with the where they go over to the house. That was an hilarious episode.
That is
of,
one
like,
of the
it was
cringiest
so
episodes
bad.
in television.
She was so bad, but like it was so bad it was good. That's why I put her in C, just because like I think she was a very interesting character, because like yeah, I don't know, there's just a lot. I think C is solid.
Didn't make that episode or continue on with it because it was so dark for the show, and like it was so dark, and I think they had bad ratings when the episode first aired, and everybody's like, what the fuck? But now it's become one of those episodes that everybody's like, okay, all right, we get it, we see
With him on the TV too, he's like, I got the bad boy mounted.
Listen,
oh, that's fucking TV.
that episode is just unbelievable, and I love that about it.
So
and
we haven't got to Michael yet, but like I think that one was one of the funniest moments for Michael, and it's just like, because like I also view it as like that's something that would 100% happen to me and you, like we would have
get in that dinner party situation,
some type of situation where we were stuck with some coworker or some friends that we would have to double and go to their house. And
we did have a really weird day when we had to go to my mom's house, and they had that like they got married in my mom's office, and like she was running away from my
that's 100% something that would have literally happened.
It's the same vibe, because it did kind of happen, like, and she got in the car with us and didn't want to, she wanted us to drive her away from her own house. No, literally, like, it kind of had the same vibes, like, literally. And my stepbrother was there. It was a whole thing, and like, I'm just saying, we've been those people, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that's why I don't know. Yeah, but overall, that's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. Okay, next up we have Jim. I don't feel like
S-tier.
This is a difficult one. Jim is definitely S tier. I love Jim. I love his character. He's funny as fuck. He's enjoyable to watch. Like, great.
And I feel like his character is solid all the way through the end, even though like they do try to screw with Jim and Pam, but I think they keep him the same.
Yeah.
I think they screw with Pam a little bit, with like having that whole like boom operator, like being in love with her.
I don't think that had anything to do with Pam as much as
no, but I just mean like that, and like they also made her feel very flip-floppy with like she wouldn't support him at first, but then like she did support him. I don't know. We'll get to it when we get to her, but like I feel like they screwed with her more compared to Jim. I think they've always kept Jim pretty solid.
That's also a whole thing that like is a discussion for maybe like another time. Like, I feel like there's this big overarching thing in television and media where women are villainized, and that's definitely something we could talk about a different time. I feel like for a tier list it's not the time, but like women are hella women are hella villainized. Okay, next we have Joe. Next we have Joe.
I like Joe's character.
She's funny, and her like I'll
put her in B.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Her character is
out of all
funny.
The bosses and stuff, and a lot of like the recurring bosses they changed afterwards, I think she was one of the best.
She's just funny
because her character was funny. She was also kind of like a sweetheart, but also kind of
crazy.
The whole thing. Yeah.
I honestly, the whole thing is great.
The dogs,
Yeah, everything.
The Great Danes.
All right, next up we have Karen. Karen, I think, is actually a fucking pretty solid character, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put her in A tier. I do feel like she kind of got fucked over, and I feel bad for her, but I think she kind of...
See, I feel like part of it is that they wrote her character out because of Parks and Rec, because she got the job over there in the middle of it, I think. I think that's what they eventually had to, like, get rid of her character.
Okay.
Which, that kind of sucked for her, because I feel like she probably could have still survived in being in the office, even though all that stuff happened. I put her in B, because she might go up higher. I'm not sure.
No,
I did like her relationship with Jim a lot. But it just, I think that they just abruptly shut it down to help with the story and probably help with casting and stuff.
No, that actually makes a lot of sense. I would say I get that fully. Do you think we should end it here and do a part 2?
No, I think we can go through.
You want to go through? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
we'll make a big, fat, juicy episode. All right. Next up we have Kelly Kapoor. Goodness. I think her character is funny as fuck, and I love the storylines with Kelly, but my god, is she unbearable as fuck. And the way that she keeps going back over and over and over to Ryan is just,
it's terrible,
horrible and unbearable. And like the ending too, with how she like pretty much abandons her baby, right?
No, it's Ryan who abandons his baby.
But doesn't he like give it something he's allergic to, and she leaves it with that guy?
No, what she does is that he gives it, the baby, something that it's allergic to, so he could run off with Kelly. And her boyfriend at the time is a doctor, so he takes care of it. And then Nellie scoops up the baby because she's been trying to adopt it, which like is super illegal and all of that thing. There's like child endangerment, kind of kidnapping, because you know technically can't just take the baby. You know, like. You know, any of that type of stuff. So like that was a really shitty ending. And I think like Kelly probably would have been a C character, but because of that knowledge, I put her in D, because like she knew that he did that, and she was perfectly fine with like one, just up and leaving somebody she had been with for a while that seemed pretty decent, and two, like, you know, that's a kid. The kid didn't do anything. Why couldn't they take the kid with him? Like, that wasn't holding him back. Like, he wasn't in a relationship with anybody. She just literally helped him abandon a kid.
No, for sure.
She's unbearable for most of the series.
Like,
I mean, she's funny, but she's unbearable.
Yeah, like but they obviously wrote the character like that, and that's why I think she's great. D tier though, because same reasons. Next up we have Kevin. Listen, Kevin is just funny as shit. I actually really like Kevin's character, and his storylines are really funny. I'm gonna go A tier with Kevin.
I'm gonna go B. I think I do like his story and stuff. I think B. I think B's solid.
Yeah, that's totally valid. Okay, next up we have Meredith. Oh my fucking god. She's crazy as hell. She's not a good parent, but she is so funny. She is definitely one of the funniest characters with the funniest storylines. C tier though, because of who she is as a person.
I think I'll put her. I'll put her C. I think that's good enough.
Yeah. God, I just. What are your thoughts on Michael?
See, I've never really liked Michael's
I know you
character.
didn't.
I didn't like it in the series pretty much the whole entire time. I mean, they wrote him out really well. And I feel like, you know, that worked out really well for the series in general, because it really did change up the dynamic. But I just really never liked him. He was just a little too unbearable with some of the stuff he pulled. I do feel like overall he was a really well written character, but a lot of the episodes, that's why I don't really rewatch the series, because like there's a lot of episodes like Scott's Tots. I can't.
I skip that episode every time. It's horrible.
I can't.
It's
stand
too cringy.
that. Like, yeah, they went way too far on that. And there's a couple of times he's just so bad, like that it kind of kills me. I probably put him in B just because like I think he's still a good character. He was one of my least favorite parts of The Office. I just think he's still a good character. Like they wrote him to be that way. Like either you would actually think he's endearing or you would hate him because he was a terrible boss. But yeah, I would have quit that job. I think the other episode that I really hated is when the two branches merge. Oh, that everything was bad with that.
All right, that's completely valid. I understand how you feel about him. Michael for me is actually S tier. I actually just love Michael. I do find there are episodes where I'm just like, oh no. But Michael's actually really endearing to me. I think his character is kind of interesting, especially hearing his childhood stuff. I definitely think some weird shit happened there. There's also actually been some interesting speculation on Michael's character. A lot of people think that he might actually be on the spectrum, which I thought was interesting. And maybe that's kind of why I like him a little bit more, is because I'm also neurodivergent, but I don't know. I like Michael, but I totally get what you mean. There are some episodes that are just unwatchable because of
Yeah.
his shit. Like, Scott, I have to skip that. That one is so, that one's like nails to a chalkboard for me.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I
They
couldn't do that
really
one.
went just hard on that one. So yeah, okay, next up we have Nellie. She was one of the bosses. I kind of want to hear your opinions because I need help pushing her into one or the other. So tell me your thoughts on Nellie.
Well, I would say definitely in the beginning, I really didn't like her.
Same.
I also like. I just felt like she was like so unbearable with like trying to be the boss and like
Right,
trying
exactly.
to like the backstabbing. I do feel like she got a lot better over time, and she definitely had some really good episodes. I'm trying to think of the one. Um, God, I can't remember the episode, but there was one that was like it really was a turning point for it. I wish I could
I think you're
remember.
thinking, are you thinking of the episode where I think they end up in her house and like kind of find, or apartment, and find out a little bit more about her and like.
Yes, and they do because remember they're gonna mess with her by making the magician or whatever because she's like
Yes.
they think she's scared of them or something, and like it was something way worse, and they had to like abort it and stuff, and like
Abandon.
yeah,
Abandon.
abort the mission, not
Abort the
the
mission, okay.
yeah, that's what I meant. Like not abort like her. Oh my God, I meant like abort the mission.
Oh.
I don't know. I think she ended up being a better character.
See, that's why
again, I think her ending was a little weak. Like she just literally like abducted a child. I know it's not like it was just kind of one of those weird things. But like I really felt for her like not being able to adopt and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put her in B. I feel like I have a little bit in C. I don't feel like she's kind of in that grouping.
See,
of
that's
C.
how I was kind of feeling. That's what I wanted. I wanted your opinion because I was feeling like
I definitely think she made the show better.
At first, she would have been D tier for me, but over time and through her character development, it was like you couldn't help but like her. I think another thing that was a little shocking for me with her character is the only other thing I've ever seen her in is Doctor Who, and she's Donna fucking Noble. And
yeah, I hadn't seen that before I had seen her in this.
And so like going from this absolutely well-loved, universally loved, well, actually there are a lot of people that don't like Donna Noble and they're wrong for that, but Donna, I fucking
Doctor Who companions,
I'm thinking we're gonna have to do that, but I love Donna, and so coming to her character was like this like huge shock, and I was like, huh, like, and it's like you know like when you watch different actors play different characters, you should be able to adjust, but it's not easy to. But she did become more likable, and that's kind of for me why I wanted to talk about it, because I needed help pushing.
I put her in B. I think
that's where I ended up too. I was between B and C. Okay, so next up we have Oscar. Oscar is actually A tier for me. I really like his character. He's funny. He adds in some funny storylines. I like Oscar a lot.
Yeah, I put him in S tier. I really liked his character a lot. I think he really added a lot.
I was gonna put him in S tier, but I only have room for one more. So
I have a little bit of room, so I was like, when I was thinking of characters that are just like, they're just good characters,
solid characters. Yeah,
he didn't really have anything like that. You know, they didn't really put him into a storyline that made him bad, because like even his negatives of being like a know-it-all and stuff were just kind of endearing, because you also got to see like him in that group of 3 accounting and stuff.
Yeah, Angela's a tight ass, and Kevin's just
Kevin knows nothing. So
Kevin's Kevin. Okay, next up we have Todd Packer, who I think is an automatic D. Wait, what'd you say? Oh, okay, I thought you said B, and I'm like, what? No, he's a piece of shit.
I never liked.
And he's a horrible influence on Michael, who I'm so glad that like Holly's kind of like, why are you hanging out with this Joker? You know, yeah. Okay, moving on to Pam. She's S tier. Fight me.
No, I mean, we're good on it. I like Pam a lot. I mean, her character definitely has a lot of growth from being, quiet into really going her own. And like that episode where she's on the beach and she runs across the hot coal and then just like spills her guts and shit. I really like that episode.
I love her growth as a person. And I think that I did really like that episode, but there's definitely a lot of wrong things with like, but Jim and Pam both do it, where they admit their feelings at the wrong times when they're each in other relationships. But I think it kind of pushes each of them to do what they know in their heart they want to do. Watching Pam with Roy was like fucking terrible. Like, whenever I watched The Office for the first time, Japan had watched it before me, and I was like, I think it was midway through season 1. I'm like, can you please does she end up with Jim? Please just tell me. And he had to tell me, because I'm like, I can't watch this show if they don't end up together. This is too much. And like, watching her with Roy, which we'll get to Roy, but anyway, S tier, we love Pam. I love her story. I love the way who she becomes, the growth, everything. I do wish we could have seen her do more with Art. I do think that
I agree. They definitely definitely sucks.
Jim got his dreams, but Pam didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just bad writing or if it just ended up what fell in for Pam. I don't know. I feel like they kind of just
I feel like they gave her all this fucking growth for her not to do something with Art. And that's, I'm just gonna leave it at that, because we are
definitely.
But like, that's another thing that I could talk about for a little bit with TV and media and women, but not the time. Next up we have Pete. He's gonna go C tier because he's just kind of there for me. Like, he's better than the other intern, but just kind of there.
I put him B. I like his story with Aaron. I think he, definitely was the perfect person for Aaron. I don't have enough space
to put him in other places, so that's kind of why.
I'll put him in B. I think he was pretty solid. I mean, he was a pretty decent character. He didn't get a lot of like story and stuff.
I think they could have done more with him for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Phyllis. For me, this is difficult. I actually like Phyllis's character quite a bit, but I don't have room to put Phyllis.
You need to swap around?
Yeah.
While you think about that, I'll put Phyllis in A tier. I liked her character. She was really sweet. She has some definitely good one-liners and stuff.
I'm torn between A and B tier, and I'm trying to look at my B tier and decide if I want to move one of those up or put Phyllis in. I'm going to copy you. I feel like it's going to be easier than moving things around. I'm copying. Hello, I'm reading your test answers. I'm choosing. I was between A and B, and I
think she's A. I mean, I think she definitely could be a B character. I think with a lot of the characters in A are just characters that are just solid characters and you have good story, to me at least. They're not the characters that like you think about when you think about The Office, but like they're characters that were essential to be in there.
Show. Yeah. Okay, so next up we have Robert California. I have some. God damn it! I have too many that I want to put in D tier, but I'm gonna put him in C tier.
I'm gonna put him in C tier. I don't know. Put him in C tier. I'm gonna put him in C tier also. He's definitely like James Spader. That's probably his worst role that I've ever seen him in, because I like him as an actor. He just had a very weird character.
Yeah.
Like, some of it was like good, some of it was bad, and just other parts was just odd.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page.
It was kind of weird. I don't know. His character was up and down. I feel like they didn't really know what to do with having like such a good actor, that they figured they could just write that from it, but I don't know.
Okay. I C tier as well. Next up we have Roy. So Roy's character was literally written to be a character that you didn't mind Pam having feelings for another man with. And that is why he is such a fucking villain.
Well, see, and I think the worst part of it, sorry I didn't mean to cut you off,
You're
but
good.
like I think all of that could have been even like forgiven if we didn't see what happens with Roy, which he basically like
does
gets
what he's
with somebody else and does everything he was supposed to. And he
learned like a song, and like that was really heartbreaking for Pam, even though she had moved on, and it just that was a slap in the fucking face.
That was really, and people are supposed to grow, and he hopefully grew from that situation, but still, it's just. Ugh.
I'm putting him in D tier, and I'm actually moving Kelly to C because I'm not gonna have room for my next character in D tier, which is Ryan.
I'm gonna put Ryan in D for 2. Also,
he's a piece of shit, but I love the writing. Here's the thing about the characters I'm putting in D tier. Most of them, the writing is because of the way the writing is that they made them so unlikable, and that's why they belong there. I think the writers on the show were really funny and good, and but he's a shitty person, so that's why he's in D tier. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. He definitely was in multiple storylines a really bad person. I definitely put him D tier also. I had to shift around a little bit, but we'll get to that at the end. But
that's valid.
yeah, I had to make room for him, so I moved up like you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much...
Next we have Stanley. I fucking love Stanley, so if I had room, he'd go in S tier, but he's going in A tier for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him in A tier also.
Did I stutter?
Funny. Yeah.
I also love...
Actually, no, wait. He's S tier for me. Never mind. He's me at work. Like, I gotta put him up in S tier.
Yeah, that's valid.
Like,
wait, who are you
moving
out of S tier, or did you have room?
I had room.
Okay,
It was between him and... I have one A and one S, so I knew Toby was going to be up there, but I was like, Toby doesn't deserve S, so I was trying to look at who in A was going to move up, and then I was like, you know what? I can't fault Stanley for anything, because I have worked at a job for 8 years, and I feel the same thing. Even though you might love your job, and you might do your job, and you go to your job, there is no better feeling than trying to get out of that damn place on time, and you don't care what it is. And, like, I also love the episode where it's Pretzel Day, and that's what he looks forward to
so
all
legit.
year.
Yeah, it's so realistic.
Literally the smallest, dumbest things that you have at work that you look forward to. So, like, he's S tier because, like, out of all these characters, I would love to be Jim, and I would hope that I'm like Jim, but I know I'm Stanley 100% because that's just how these type of jobs get you.
Stanley is literally the most relatable fucking character. He goes to work, puts in his 8 hours, and goes the fuck home. And I just...
Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, and like, but he's funny as fuck. I love his character a lot, and that's why this is really hard, because now I have Toby. Okay. I'm going to put Toby in B tier only because I only have room there, but also I'm torn because, like, I kind of want to put Toby in A tier. I think he's a great character, but I also, like, I can't get past the cringe of that one episode. It's that episode where they accidentally get locked in because Jim's like, well, if we get a lot of work done tonight, we don't have to come in tomorrow, but then they get locked in, and Toby, I forgot what he did. Did he, like, touch Pam's knee, I think?
Yeah, his hand. His whole, like, hand on her knee.
Like, it was... Goddamn. You know?
Yeah, Toby's like that for me. I feel like Toby would be a better character because I think he's, like, definitely has, like, a lot of dimensions to him. But, like, that and a lot of the other things, it was just, like, he didn't really need to do that, you know? Like, they really didn't need to... Yeah.
Do you think Toby's a Scranton Strangler?
Oh, for sure.
Me too.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah. All right.
It has to be.
Let's go ahead and go over what we have for S tier. So personally, I had Daryl, Dwight, Holly, Jim, Michael, and Pam. Give me your S tier.
Daryl, Dwight, Jim, Oscar, Pam, and Stanley.
All right. So my D tier is Andy, D'Angelo, Gabe, Jan, Todd Packer, Roy, and Ryan. What is yours?
Andy, D'Angelo, Gabe, Kelly, Todd Packer, Roy, and Ryan.
Ours is pretty similar with that. Give me your A tier. I kind of want to know.
Creed, Aaron, Holly, Phyllis, Karen, and Toby.
Okay. Mine was Creed, Karen, Kevin, Oscar, Phyllis, and Stanley. See, this, it's just like there's so many good characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is our damn near
very interesting
45-minute long episode
of
Office
Characters.
It's
one of those things. I mean, it's definitely a
honestly
series.
It's one of those series. Yeah, I just realized my music quit at some point, so like half of this episode is gonna be musicless, and I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, it's a good episode to kind of get you in there.
it's just, this is such a good show, and I feel like we could talk hours on the characters. I mean, that's why there are like podcasts on these shows, is like,
Yeah.
they stand the test of time, they're heartwarming, and I love this show. I really do. And honestly, it's one of my comfort shows that I go to when I'm not feeling great mentally. And it's like a safe place for me because it just makes my heart happy. It's funny, it's heartwarming, and there's just a lot about this show that's great. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what your S tier characters are and who you think are dirty, dirty dogs that belong in D tier and why in the comments. Also, make sure you check out our other episodes of Tier Miss for other episodes, our other tier lists
of Tier Miss,
our other tier lists that we're doing 25 days of Tier Miss for. Yeah, make sure you check those out. Make sure you check out Japann. You can find his information in my description bar.
And same with mine for Scar.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye, besties.
Bye, guys.